Here in the Overtime School of Wrestling with Kyven Gadson, who was a fifth-year senior, I believe, at Iowa State University. He was also an All-American last year. Can you tell me a little bit about that tournament last year and becoming an All-American and what that experience was like?
The experience was pretty good, other than the fact that I didn't end it with the national title. It was a lot of ups and downs, like the NCAA tournament can be. I went into the tournament with the #1 ranking across the board and was seated 5th. So I just tried to bounce back from that loss that I took in the quarterfinals and come back and get 3rd, which I ultimately ended up with a 4th place finish, something to build on for next year.
So what was that like, becoming an All-American? Was that something that you expected, or was that something that you were disappointed with, or?
Well, it's always, nice. You have to take something from it. You got to take some positives from it. So it was great to become an All-American again. Me and my dad Willie Gadson became the first two-time Big 12 and two-time All-Americans for Iowa State in Iowa State history. So that was, that was a nice takeaway from it. But I definitely went in that tournament believing I was going to come out with the national title. So it was a little disappointing for sure, but something that keeps the drive going.
Can you tell me a little bit about your high school career and what led you to go to Iowa State University?
Okay, well, in high school I was a 2-time state champion my junior and senior year at 171 and 189 pounds. My sophomore year I took 2nd in the state finals. The reason I chose Iowa State was because of Coach Jackson. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the way he related to me as a student athlete. Also, I had the drive to want to be a cyclist since I was about 7. Thinking in 1999, I think I told my dad I wanted to wrestle for Iowa State. And then again in 2004 when we beat Iowa 19-16 in Carver-Hawkeye Arena. And I lived in Iowa State at that time, but my dad wrestled for Iowa State as did my uncle. So it was just, the family legacy that I wanted to continue and kind of outshine my dad and my uncle.
And what do you plan to do as a profession, and what's your major right now?
Well, I just actually graduated just a week ago. At the end of last week, I finished up my internship, which was my final credit for school. So I graduated with my undergraduate degree, my Bachelor's of Science in Child, Adult, and Family Services with an emphasis on youth. And I started my master's program on Monday, August 25th for higher education specialization. So I want to be an athletic director on the Division I level. And I'm doing a lot of stuff outside of wrestling and stuff to build that core and stuff that you need to be that person. So.
Well, that's pretty amazing, actually. So congratulations on being an All-American and graduating, and you're going to have 1 more year left. But can you talk a little bit about, or maybe give some enlightenment to a high school wrestler who wants to be a collegiate wrestler, who actually, in your case, you've graduated and you're going to have 1 more year of eligibility. What was that like, actually being able to graduate as a high school, going into high school and becoming an All-American, representing your university and becoming varsity, and now that you're going to be a graduate student still wrestling? Can you tell us, or give a high school athlete some enlightenment on what that is and how they can do those same things?
First, I would say it's all about your mindset. I don't believe I came in with the mindset like I'm going to graduate in 4 years, but I was focused on some stuff that I needed to do school-wise and athletic-wise, and it just kind of panned out that way. So it all comes down to your mindset and how much work do you really want to put in. It's all about your effort. With anything you do, though, it's all about your effort, how much you want to put in, how hard you want to work. It takes a lot to be a Division I student athlete, especially at one of the premier programs in the nation. So it takes a lot, just from a mental standpoint as well as a physical standpoint. But you just have to have a never give up attitude, never quit attitude, and keep striving to do great things.
Now, I've watched you wrestle here. You've been at the Overtime School of Wrestling for almost a week or so. What was your experience like training here at Overtime?
It was great. I got some individual training time with Coach Bowman, as well as I got to continue my strength and conditioning program in this beautiful facility that they have here. So it was awesome being able to, not even though I left Ames, I was still able to continue the workouts I needed, with the lifting and stuff like that. But it's been great. I've got good workouts in, and got to finer tune some of my techniques that I was looking forward to do when I came down here.
Academically and professionally, you said you're going to go to graduate school and you'd like to be an athletic director. Goal-wise, what are your goals for this upcoming season collegiately at the NCAA level, Division I?
I want to be a national champion. That's always the goal. When I talk to Coach Bowman, my dad and him actually coached together back in the day a little bit. The goal is to score points. So I believe that if I'm scoring points and I'm focused, like I need to be on both tasks, not just the school or not just the athletics, but both tasks and making them balance out, properly and keeping God first, and I'll handle the business like I'm supposed to. So the goal is to become a national champ this year. Fell shy the last 2 years, but I really believe I can get it done with God first.
So you say your goal is to be a national champion. This is a spinoff from the last question. What is it going to take for Kyven Gadson to become a national champion?
It's going to take a lot of focus. It's going to take a lot of focus, a lot of, just a little tweak here and there, but just a lot of focus on the goal. Just keeping that vision in front of me and just believing in myself. Fully believing in myself and trusting that God has a plan for me and that I'm doing everything necessary in my my personal life and my wrestling life and my school life that's going to transfer over to that.
We've been talking with Kyven Gadson here at the Overtime School of Wrestling. Kyven, you have anything else you'd like to say?
I want to thank Coach Bowman for bringing me out here. Shannon, you've been doing a great job with this stuff, and I hope Overtime picks it up again like they used to be some big time studs, and I appreciate them for letting me come out here and can't wait to see what they're doing in the future.
Thank you very much.